Yo, 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 yo. What's up, beautiful people? Peace, love, and law. Welcome to In God We Trust Academy podcast today. Hope everyone is having a great and beautiful day. Hope y'all getting prepared for the winter storms down here in the South, man. They got us. I'm talking about the parking lot is full of people. Man, I stay right across the street from a food market, and when I say there's so many people over there, it ain't even Friday yet. So stay safe, man. Stay warm. Best way possible, man. Have a plan. Be able to talk to your peoples. They say it's supposed to be one of them ones. We're going to find out, though, man. You never know, man. But may God take care of us all. Hope everyone, like I say, is definitely having a great time and coming into the year 2026. A lot has already transpired in 21 days. A whole lot. Man. But we still here, though. So I'm always thankful for you guys and being able to participate in everything that we do. Always all love, yo. Got a few more minutes before we get started. For sure, I'll praise to the Most High for the meeting of the minds tonight. What's going on, peace, family? And what's up, Hutch? Yeah, man. Such a beautiful time, guys. All right, we got a few announcements that we're going to make with you guys right quick. First and foremost, stay in touch with us on the platform that you're watching on. No matter where you're watching at, you can reach us there, right? So invite your friends there from the very platform that you're watching from right now. All right? You can definitely do that. So stay in touch with us there. And also, InGodWeTrustAcademy.com is our website. Admin at InGodWeTrustAcademy.org. You can reach us by email. Also, In God We Trust Academy is now offering 101 full trust setup. In God We Trust declaration of trust replay and templates as well. And you can register at InGodWeTrustAcademy.com. So you can go there for that as well. And I know y'all been waiting on this. So next Monday, starting Monday, if the weather don't get too damn bad or whatever, but we're going to see. But Monday is when we're supposed to be able to start season 9. So we're going to be in season 9. You feel what I'm saying? And Master Merchant Tax Series is a 10-volume series. It's 10 weeks. So you know exactly how long work session is going to be. It's 10 weeks. All right. So it's a full tax series. It's going to be 10 volumes. Mondays, 11 a.m. Central Time. Wednesdays, 6 p.m. Central Time. It's free. It's free. So be there. You can watch us directly from the platform that you're at now, or you can register and at admin at InGodWeTrustAcademy.org. Let us know that you want to join work sessions, and then you'll be able to come in, ask questions, give testimonies, and things like that too. So, you know what I mean? We're going to make sure that happens. All right, so now, a lot of people keep mixing this up, so I don't want y'all to mix this up. The Lawman series is separate from what I'm doing tonight, which is part 2 of the Lawman, Only God Can Judge Me. This is to give you an idea and prepare you for what's coming with the Lawman series, with the volume that's going to drop, because it's a 10-volume series. This is just scratching the surface of what that whole entire series is about and more, right? So it drops Friday, February the 6th, 2026, 10 volumes, a whole full series, right? Can be for you. If you are a do-it-yourself person, want to read, you can want to take on the task fully yourself, you can get the whole entire book as well, February the 6th, 2026 as well. So procedure over theory, record-based law, authority, jurisdiction explained. And it's also built to be kept and passed down, right? And also the option is monthly classes as well. So that's your other option if you want to. Now, if you do get the full volume series, then you still have to get the instructional services for the class. So you do. But if you're one of those ones that want to do it, along with me and explanation, instructions and stuff like that, and the Q&A and everything else, how we always do, then every fourth Wednesday, we will be having a Lawman series class. Okay? And that is for the next 10 months. So February the 25th is that first class. Okay? And it will come with the replay. It will come with the ebook and, the Q&A whole perspective. So we're going to do one of those classes every month as well. So it's totally up to you how you want to do it. Then we also got Tender by Performance, which will be February the 21st, 2026. All right, we've been speaking on this for a while now. So now it's your opportunity to be able to get in this class and truly understand as well. It also is 2 tiers. The deluxe version comes with 2 ebooks, but the deluxe version, a lot of people ask, well, what's about this? What's different? Because we got this in this class. Okay, well, the deluxe version explains coupons, how to actually use the coupon when it comes to the interest, et cetera, from securitization, how to pull that and things like that, because you have a right in equity for you to truly understand that. So all of that is in the deluxe version, and it comes with the ebook plus the Q&A plus the Fire Edition as well, and the replay, et cetera. So it's a lot that comes with that. All right, and maybe a little special prize for those who do that one. But it's totally up to you. The time will be 3 p.m. Central Time, and it will be online. So you're definitely welcome to do that. Don't forget to travel with Car Retreats, guys. You can text TRIP to 263-0771 to get started. If you're ready to travel somewhere, especially to get away from the cold weather, you want to go somewhere where it's warm? Yeah, hit Car Retreats up. So carretreats.intellitravels.com as well. You can hit that up and plan your trip out, because that's exactly what I use to plan mine. All right, guys, so you ready to continue from where we left off? Drop some ones. Let me know that you're ready. I need to know. Need to know myself that you guys are ready. I don't think y'all ready. And then I ain't get the vibe to this. Let me give y'all some time to get ready. Make sure y'all ready for this next one. Make sure you're ready. I've been through the rain, I've been through the storm, I've been through the pain. Yeah. It's hard to stay calm, yeah. Make sure y'all ready. I bet the sun gon' shine on. Just vibe with me, man, just so you can know. I've been through the storm, I've been through like, share, and subscribe, family. Yeah. I bet the sun gon' shine on me. We're gonna get through this winter storm, guys. The sun gonna shine again. All of the pain inside, it's hard to let the shit ride. Homicide, why they take my nigga? 2 more minutes. I got some shit with my family, I'm trying to get it right. 2 daughters, 2 mother, 2 family, that's right. This the shit I live for. I keep that shit they kill. Yeah, share with somebody, because I'm definitely about to share with you. Keep that weed coming, because I ain't trying to feel nothing. That shit broke my heart. All right, Bobby, what's going on? Tell me why me when I'm really trying to build something. Hey. There's some young niggas, little bitches set me up. Hey. Should've killed them niggas since then.
riding triple, boy. Probably 25 to life, I pull it from my hip. Yeah. I've been through the storm.
We here, man.
I've been through the pain, and it's hard to
The Lawman Only God Can Judge Me special edition, man. Hey, appreciate everybody that already made this purchase. Appreciate everybody that has already made this purchase. Tell me what y'all think about it. Y'all got it. Travis Hudson, what's happening? One love. Hey.
I lost my pops 10 months later. My daughter dropped. And you can't tell me life can't transform. And you can't tell me that I ain't the one. I done took blows from friends and family. I done made money with friends and family. When you get broke, just watch it and handle it. It's time to ride. And niggas ain't down for you find that fire. And then you start rapping, you find that plug. And then you start stacking. And niggas is robbing. You better stay packing. Ain't doing no talking, just know it's by action. Saying you love me, give me expression. We don't take pleas, ain't doing no confession. Nationality, I swear it's a blessing. Knowing I'm a king and I got the recipe. Give me the keys. You know I'm gonna run it too far in the game. Ain't doing no front. Let's get to this money. You coming, little mama. LRP and
hey, I had to listen to this, y'all. I need this one today. Hey, I bet the sun gonna shine on me. I know that's real, man. What's up, though, man? Let's get ready to get started. The Lawman Only God Can Judge Me. Now, we already did the first part, so if you haven't seen that, you can go check us out on YouTube, In God We Trust Academy, or if you're on Facebook, you can watch it as well, too. It's already there for you. All right, so let's pick up from where we left off at. We are on chapter 7. I think this is a dope cover. Sorry you guys on TikTok can't see it, but I appreciate you being here and listening to me. I'm going to figure out how to get it on here for you guys too soon, but right now, we're going to ride. All right, but yeah, this is a real dope cover. So who has purchased this? If you have gotten this, drop some ones, let me know. Drop a 1 if you got this. The Lawman Only God Can Judge Me. If you hadn't, go to www.ingodwetrustacademy.com and you can get it there. Just go look up The Lawman Only God Can Judge Me special edition. Right there is for purchase for $25. And that ends this week. All right. So this is it's special. It's limited. It's a special and limited. Special limited edition, huh? So what you think about it, Brandon? Brandon Edwards. What you think, brother? Tell us what you think. What's your thoughts so far? Have you finished reading it yet? Who else got one? I see somebody else drop one. Okay. Real Estate Alabama on TikTok. Have you read it yet? You finished it yet? What page you on? Somebody talk to me and let me know, right? Let me know what page you on. Because I'm on page, if y'all ain't know, we on page 27, which is chapter 7. We on page 27, which is chapter 7. Part 3. That's where we stopped at. If y'all can remember. I don't see it. Maybe y'all comments just lagging a little bit or something. I don't know. But we're going to keep this jumping, though. Haven't started reading yet? Oh, you better. You better get to reading it today. All right, so now we're on part 3, the people as a legal capacity. Man, who the people are in the constitutional law. The people is not a rhetorical phrase, a political slogan, or a poetic reference. It is a defined legal concept with structural consequences. Constitutional law distinguishes sharply between the people as a source of sovereignty and persons created or regulated by statute. Modern enforcement systems blur this distinction to justify administrative control where none lawfully exist. Okay? Where none lawfully exists. This chapter restores the legal meaning of the people and clarifies why that status places inherent limits on the governmental reach. In constitutional structure, sovereignty does not originate with government. It originates with the people. Government exists only because the people delegated limited authority to it, and the delegation did not transfer sovereignty. It permitted certain functions to be performed on the people's behalf under defined constraints. The people are therefore not subject of government in the ordinary sense. They are the principals. Government actors are agents. This relationship is foundational. An agent cannot expand its authority beyond what the principal delegated. Any attempt to do so is considered ultra vires, right? Because sovereignty remains with the people, and any exercise of governmental power that affects liberty or property must be justified by lawful delegation and lawful application. Power does not flow downward by assumption, it flows upward by consent expressed through constitutional structure. Okay? So, constitutional law recognizes a critical distinction between the people and statutory persons. Statutory persons are entities or classifications created by legislations for regulatory purposes. Their rights, duties, and obligations are defined and limited by statute. They exist within the administrative framework and are subject to it by design. So, the people are not created by statute, they pre exist legislation, and their status does not arise from enrollment, registration, or participation in a regulatory scheme. As a result, they do not automatically fall within statutory classes unless they lawfully enter through defined conduct or consented relationship. Conflating the people with statutory persons allows government to impose regulatory obligations by default. Okay? By default, rather than by proof. So the conflation is unlawful. A statute applies only to those it lawfully reaches. The people are not transformed into a statutory class by existence alone. Public liberty versus public regulation. Public liberty refers to the freedom retained by the people that government may not abridge absent lawful authority and due process. These liberties are not privileges granted by the state. They are conditions of free status preserved by constitutional structure. So public regulation, by contrast, governs activity that the legislature has chosen to regulate through statutory schemes. Regulations applies to defined conduct, roles, or relationship. It does not apply universally to all persons, simply because they exist within a territory. The era of modern enforcement is treating public liberty as a subsect of public regulation. This inversion presumes that all persons are regulated by default and liberty exists only by exception. Constitutional law rejects this premise here, and regulation must be justified because liberty is presumed. Why the people are not an administrative class. Administrative systems operate on classification. Agencies regulate categories, roles, license, privileges, and statutory relationships. These systems require defined subject to function. The people, as such, do not fit this model. The people are not an administrative class because they are not defined by statute, enrolled by regulation, or governed by agency rulemaking as a general matter. Administrative authority reaches only those matters and persons placed within it by law. It does not reach sovereignty itself. When agency or municipal court treat people as administrative class, they exceed their authority. They convert constitutional principles into regulatory subjects without lawful basis. And this conversion is not a procedural shortcut, it is a jurisdictional defect. Administrative power may regulate conduct, it may not reclassify the sovereignty, right? So when the people are mischaracterized as statutory person or administrative subjects, jurisdiction is assumed rather than established. And this assumption strips proceedings of lawful foundation. Courts must determine status and applicability before proceeding, not after enforcement begins. So where the people are involved and liberty is at stake, the burden on the government is highest. Authority must be explicit. Applicability must be proven. Procedure must be exact. Anything less collapses the jurisdiction. So you have to truly understand your place, as I've always been saying. And the Constitution is the highest contract between you and the state and the federal government, United States of America itself. And you have to know how to operate that yourself. If you're not aware of that yourself, then that literally that changes everything. Like if the people are not aware of the law on the land on which they live and cannot fully exercise their own rights, then that means that you are at the mercy of another. And you should never want to be at the mercy of another, ever. Because they get to decide if they want to take your case, not take your case. They get to decide that you are a ward of the state at that particular time and you're in a minor capacity. You cannot speak or do anything, and they have to do everything on for you. And guess what? They do it for the best interest of the estate, not you as a personal living being, for the estate. And yeah. And their purpose of with the estate is to what? Fund it, to make sure that it grows. Yeah, but we're going to keep it moving. A lot of people ain't going to understand that. So regulated subjects versus constitutionally protected parties. Regulation is not governance of the people as such. It is governance of participation within defined statutory schemes. Constitutional law draws a firm boundary between regulated subjects who operate within legislatively created frameworks and constitutionally protected parties whose liberty exists outside those frameworks unless lawfully brought within them, right? So confusing these categories also allows administrative power to be applied where no lawful basis exists. And this chapter is going to restore those boundaries back to you. So regulation operates through statute. It does not arise from sovereignty, necessity, or public interest alone. A regulatory scheme governs specific activities, roles, or relationship that the legislature has chosen to regulate. Reach is defined by statute, terms, and limited to the conduct it describes. Lawful regulation functions conditionally. It presupposes an activity that the legislature has placed under governance and an actor who has engaged in that activity. Regulation does not attach to persons by default. It attaches to conduct within the scope of the statute. So again, are you type of people that are going to allow yourself to be regulated? See, you got to understand the highest contract that you agreed to be governed by is the Constitution. And again, if these legislative statutes goes against that, then you, remember, you have the right to address the government for grievances. You do. So if you don't do that, then that means you fully consent to whatever happened. And you are choosing to not act upon a right. You never lose the right. You are just choosing to never act on the right. And it may be because you don't know it, you're not aware of it, whatever. Or it might not be worth so much of your time. However, you're choosing not to act on it. So let's make sure we say that. All right. So administrative systems depend on this limitation. Without defined subjects, regulations becomes indistinguishable from general control. Constitutional law does not permit that result. Regulation must remain tethered to participation, not existence. So licensing, privilege, and consent. Licensing, the regimen is here, is exemplary lawful regulation. So you got to understand it when it comes to licensing as well. I keep saying this because a lot of people talk about driver's license and stuff like that. Okay. So if you are going to be a Uber driver or drive for some company, etc., of course, you have to have driver's license, guys. But that does not mean that just because you have driver's license that you waive a right. That is not true. You still have the right of due process of law. And you still, everything starts from authority, jurisdiction, and in the midst of that, due process and neutrality has to be as well. So just because you get some licenses involved, it does not, unless you choose not to act on that right. And that's where a lot of people start mishandling this because they keep thinking that, oh, well, you got the right to vote. Why the hell would you not go and be responsible for the people that you voting for in your state and counties and stuff like that? Yeah, you got that full right. That's the part of having the right of the republic. You never want to lose that freaking right. I'm not telling you to go and not be. Yeah, you do got that right. See, people make it look like you don't. Like, yes, who else are you going to be putting into the place of the state? The people. The people are the ones who are to be elected in these state positions. And it's the people who vote these people into these positions. If you don't do it, then what is the situation here? But not only that, the point was to, go and vote, but also know the law and hold them accountable to which they took an oath to sit in. It's a contract. It's business. Real business going on. So remember that a license does not regulate liberty. Okay? Does not regulate liberty. That alone should tell you. It cannot regulate liberty. Liberty is something that you have as a God-given right that already existed before the government existed, before the compact existed, before the union existed. This already existed. And that right is going to still exist long when this government is gone, because this government is not going to be here forever. History says that. Yeah, history says that automatically. So, everything here on this physical plane has its time. Has the creation date and the date that that it's going to cease to exist. Dissolution date, right? So a license does not regulate liberty. It regulates participation in regulated activity. The license is a condition placed on engagement, not on being. I keep telling you that. Based upon you engaging in commerce, how you are going to engage in commerce, right? That's it. Anything outside of that, it does not take away your freedom, your liberties, your right to due process of law at all. It does not give any of these courts the right to see you in any type of way. It does not. Only if you allow it to happen, though. Everything has to be done by authority first, jurisdiction, right? Due process and neutrality. The only way it becomes neutrality is if what? Put it in the comments. Put it in the comments. The only way this is and becomes a neutrality situation when it comes to the courts, etc., is only one way and one way only. Tell me what that is. Consent? Nope. What y'all got? It's not consent. Not consent. Anybody else? Got another one? You want to try it again? Because it's not consent. Repeat one more time the question. What is like neutrality? When it comes to court, what literally makes the situation a neutrality? Because if that does not exist, then there is no neutrality in the court, which means there has to be an impartial judicial. There has to be impartial justice. So someone said, under the contract of the Constitution, injured party. No, not injured party. Not the contract of the Constitution. Jurisdiction, no. Let me see who get it, man. A real party interest? No. Mutual agreement? No. Both sides? No. Judicial impartiality? Yeah, but what makes that? What is that? What is judicial impartiality? Equity? No. It's something y'all always say. How is the people considered to be sovereign? Number one, the people establish what? The state created the union. All right. You said jury, yeah, but it's just a word. It's the people. See, if the people is not involved, then there's no neutrality at all. Why is that? Because if you remove the people from if you remove the people, which means if you remove the people and go do a bench trial instead of a trial by jury, what happens? See, what happens is you got the same one that's prosecuting you from the same entity that is adjudicating you is also the same entity that is going to benefit. And since that is so, that means that this is considered that there's no neutrality here. The people is what makes it neutral because you are and will always be and show that you are what? The power is in the people. That's the only way you keep the power in the people is if the people is involved. Anytime that you take the people away from the decisions based upon according to the law, it takes away the republic part that we scream about, and it removes you from impartial justice, right? So you're dealing with a entity that is prosecuting you, adjudicating the situation, and also financially profiting off of it. That ain't what you want. Privilege in law refers to an activity the legislature has chosen to condition. Acceptance of a license signifies entry into a statutory framework and agreement to its terms. The obligation that follows arises from participation, not from identity. So you got to understand that. See, your participation in something still don't mean that it takes away a right that you have that's protected by the Constitution. Because the Constitution basically says that if anything that is being created or any laws that goes against the Constitution, it's basically null and void. Any contracts, any statutes, any licenses, any privileges, they say, all of that. That's the reason why certain ways when you go and look for and go and get benefits, well, it says you got a right to welfare. That the United States itself is responsible for the general welfare of the people. That's a right. You got a right to have that. They can't tell you no. They got to give you something. That's another thing. And then there's also how and what you consider income. And a lot of you guys think that the money that you go work for should be reported as income, and it should not at all. But that's another subject too. Right? So now consent in this context is not theoretical. It is operational. It arises when a party elects to engage in the regulated activity and accepts the conditions attached to it. Absent that election, the regulatory obligations do not attach. So courts err when they treat licensing as evidence of general subjection rather than specific participation. A license does not convert a person into a regulated subject for all purposes. It governs only what the statute governs. And that's it. So when statutory governance attaches only when three elements are present. Excuse me. First, a statute must define the activity or relationship as subject to regulations. Second, the party must engage in the activity or relationship. Third, the statute's conditions for governance must be satisfied. So where these elements align, regulation is lawful, authority exists, jurisdiction may attach, enforcement may proceed. Statutory governance does not arise from assumption. It does not arise from proximity. It does not arise from generalized public interest. It arises from defined participation within a defined legal framework. When it does not, statutory governance does not attach when the party has not engaged in the regulated activity, has not entered the statutory relationship, or where the statute does not lawfully reach the conduct alleged. No amount of administrative convenience can bridge this gap. Regulation cannot be extended to liberty simply because enforcement would be easier. Courts may not presume participation to justify jurisdiction. Participation must be proven. So where statutory governance does not attach, administrative power ends, and any attempt to enforce regulations against constitutionality protected liberty is ultra virus, as I just keep saying. All right. So there you have to be truly understand is what you want it to be. And to make sure that it's always going to be in your favor. The failure to distinguish regulated subjects from constitutionality protected parties transforms regulations into general control. This transformation is unlawful. Courts and agency must identify participation before imposing regulation. Where participation is absent, jurisdiction fails. Liberty exists outside regulations unless lawfully conditioned. The burden rests on the government to prove otherwise. Always, right? So again, it matters. It matters. And I'm always going to say that because anytime you remove the people, what you're dealing with is you're being prosecuted, adjudicated, and they are financially, the same entity is financially benefiting at all times. So that means that there's always an interest, there's always a conflict of interest, but it's really not because you're in agreement to it, if I must say so. It's basically what we just got done saying, that you are in participation of it. And as soon as you continue to participate with no form of rebuttal or objection to it, then it is so. It's just what it is. Right? Just what it is. Prosecutors are not sovereign actors. They do not possess independent adjudicative power, and they do not carry jurisdiction by virtue of office. Prosecutorial authority is entirely derivative, right? It exists only where law grants it. So again, prosecutors does not have the authority. It has to derive somewhere. So what do authority derives from for these particular positions? It's what I want to say. And I need some water. But I don't want to stop. So we'll get through this one, and then I gotta go get some water. All right, so everything in government, as we have spoken from chapter 1 up until chapter 9, has to derive from authority. Authority, Constitution. You stick with the Constitution. Now, you got these people out here that would say, well, the Constitution is not active anymore, such and such. Yes, it is. It will never go anywhere. What's not active is your brain cells to know how to activate and exercise your right in it, because you have a right and interest. What is your right and interest in that contract? In the U.S. Constitution and state constitutions, your rights and interests is for the obligations to be performed. So performance is your right and interest in that. You're looking from the performance from the parties that hold these particular fiduciary positions from them. They owe that to you. And that contract says so. So you got to truly know how to exercise that contract and hold them up to the highest contract, which is that, because they will definitely try to break you down to these lower contracts, as I was just saying. Right? So know that. You heard there were 2 constitutions? Hey, let me ask you this. Even if it is, okay, let's say there is 2 constitutions. Which one do you know how to use? Like, even when people say that, they still don't know how to exercise the right. They still not going to go and truly understand due process. People will say and make up anything. Anything. There's not 2 constitutions. Constitutions get amended. So if you want to say that there's 2 constitutions and all that type of stuff, then that means that when we come to the constitution that deals with the state of Alabama, that must have been amended. How many? Like, I think about 300 sometimes, maybe 200 sometimes. So there's 200 different constitutions since it's been amended that many times. No, it's only one constitution. It just get amended. That's it. Now, a lot of people say, oh, the 14th Amendment was not properly ratified. Okay. Do you know what you're saying when you say that? I don't think y'all understand what you're saying when you say that. Okay, so if you want to take the 14th Amendment away, you know what you do? You take away the right of due process in the state. Now that means the state can, if they want to go back to Jim Crow laws, if they want to go back to doing all the other stuff that they was doing, they can go do it right now. You can't bring, and then you wouldn't be able to bring them in no federal court because the Fourth Amendment, the Fifth Amendment, the Bill of Rights, that deals with the federal Constitution and the federal government itself. The 14th Amendment is what holds the state. That's the reason why you can bring the state in a federal court is because of the 14th Amendment. So if you want to take it away, I mean, hey, do it. If that's the way y'all feel, and y'all get to saying this stuff, but you're not willing to stand on it and go back off it and go stand on it. So if it wasn't properly ratified and it was supposed to be done away with, if you take that away, I'm telling you right now, there is nothing that is going to control the states for the right of due process. Nothing. Nah, you good. I'm just saying this is what people say. You know what I mean? They'll say some bullshit to you out here, and they have no proof of it, can't act on it. And if they tried to act on it, they can't show proof of it that it worked. They'll say it worked, but hey, we can show you results, receipts over here. Plenty of them. I promise you. A lot of them. Probably when we start back on the 26th, Monday for work sessions, we're probably going to hear about 30 to 40 minutes worth of testimonies. How many people I done had hit me up about them. But what I'm trying to get y'all to truly understand, like, if they can't show it to you from authority, then it don't exist. From authority, jurisdiction, due process. All of this stuff has to be written. Nothing can be hidden from you. All of it has to be fully disclosed. Now, can it be written in a complex type of way? Absolutely. Probably has been done. Has been done. Ain't no probably. You know, and it makes it even harder because a lot of people just not getting into this in they late 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. Some of y'all is elderly people in this. So it's kind of hard to wrap your mind around a lot of things, what you thought or ain't thought or whatever. Yeah. I know it. It's not a and I'm always say just pick up the book and read. Go fact check everybody. Anybody you see teaching, saying something. I don't mind you fact checking me. You can do it. So if I slip up, come back and tell me. Teach me something. I ain't no hater. I'm willing to learn always. But I'm definitely in perfection mode though. I want to perfect the best I can. Pretty damn good right now. Almost there, I would say. But I ain't gonna never say I'm there because I always want to be able to continue to grow and learn. No matter what. So just for people to truly know, man, like, you know, make sure y'all start checking these folks when they start saying that stuff. That's weird. Weird activity. Hold on, y'all. I'm finna continue reading. Finna continue reading. All right. So now we're at prosecutorial authority is derivative and forum. So prosecutors get authority. A prosecutor authority arises from delegation. So there has to be a delegated. It is conferred by constitution or statute and defined by enabling law. The delegation authorizes the prosecutor to represent the public interest in enforcement within a specified jurisdiction and forum. It does not confer sovereignty, judicial power, or autonomous enforcement capacity. Prosecutorial authority is therefore conditional. It depends on the existence of a valid law, a lawful forum authorized to hear the matter, and statutory authorization to initiate proceedings in that forum. Now, here we go. Let's look at this middle one. A lawful forum authorized to hear the matter. See, and that goes also, that goes by capacity, because all persons can't be all persons, and that goes to natural people, the people as well. There's different classifications where certain people can be heard in certain courts and some can't. So the people themselves should never be in a situation of a bench trial. The only way you're in there is because you consent. You see what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. The only way you're going to continue to stay in that is because of you consenting to it, and your participation is going to give them that power, so to say. But other than that, guys, they don't have it, because I keep telling you the liberties. Think about freedom. Think about your liberties. Think about your rights. Anytime you say rights, you're talking about property. Your interest is your property. Your religion is your property. You see what I'm saying? So you got to start treating it as such. And once you start treating it as such, then all of this start changing for you to truly understand. Persons are corporations, not necessarily. Persons is what they give you a definition of what persons is. You can't necessarily say just because they use the word person that it means corporations every single time. They might say persons in this title or for this particular definition means natural people, natural person, or then it'll say individual, then it'll say corporation, trust. It's what they define it for that particular title or act or whatever the case may be. It changes. This is what we got to start understanding. We can't think that what's over here in Title 5 and the definition says this, and then you get over here all the way in Title 26 or 24, and then the definitions of persons is saying a little something different. Why? Because it's specifically for that title, for that act, or for whatever the case may be. But it don't mean the same in every single situation. Now, when they said persons in the Constitution, yes, they also meant corporations, but they also meant foreigners, immigrants. They also mean and persons is used in the 14th Amendment. So they talking about anybody that is within the territory of the United States has the right to due process of law and the right of equal protection under the law. And any privileges, etc., and benefits is afforded to them as well. They got the right access to do it. So that means that places these people the right to exercise the law. But again, here's the thing about being in America. You might have all of that right. But if you're not aware of it and you can't exercise it yourself, then that shit's gone. That's the point about being free here. You got to know how to exercise your own right. You got to know how to go and go to court and address the government for your own form of grievances as well. This is a fact. So the living man is foreign to the corporations. Oh me. It's how you use it. It's how you say it. It's what you into. You got a entity to go and act in, and they're going to consider it a sole proprietor. And that's the reason why y'all be trying to mix commerce up. Everything ain't always commerce. Anytime we're going to talk about the living man, we're talking about the people who are exercising their right according to the highest contract, which is the Constitution itself. Now, we're going to start talking about commerce, which we still go into contracts, etc. But you have a form of a entity that you're going to use to do business with. You're not exempt from that. But the only thing about what the people need to learn is when you act fully in that individual capacity, you hold the fullest liability to any and every damn thing that's going on. So that's why you got to truly understand that when you file taxes, all this is volunteer. You volunteered to fill out the 1040. You volunteered to fill out the 1041 and the whatever else. You volunteered to put those numbers and you signed off with the tax preparer. Told you did all this. That's volunteering. Not only that, you volunteered to pay a tax that probably didn't even belong to you. but it's how you classified your transactions. You volunteered that. Even if you don't know about it, that's the point. That's the problem. You don't know. You don't even truly understand your classification of dealing with the IRS. And the truth is, nobody should own nothing. That's the whole damn point. You don't own nothing. Your ass gonna die. That's the point. You're gone. You could go right now. What you thought you owned, somebody else wearing that shit the next day. Driving, you're in your house, your food, all of that. So you got to have that realistic reality. So why own anything? Everything should already be prepared and transferred. Everybody act like the Sesta K Trust was a bad thing. It was not. It still ain't bad. Especially when you got to deal with ignorant people. It's not a bad thing. You need to have the Sesta K Trust. It has to exist. Because what happens when communication is easy now? What we doing now, I'm talking to y'all from all kind of different, some of y'all in another country, some of y'all be from in Australia talking to me, Canada, some people be from in Europe, in London, watching all of that. So we hear it. Communication is very quick, right? Back then it wasn't. Your ass might be gone for 7 years, ain't nobody heard nothing for you. You dead somewhere, and we waiting, and then we got all this property over here. We can't transfer it. We can't do nothing because we ain't got no proof of life or death. So they had to create the Sesta K Trust because now, if it's you have the presumption of death until proven otherwise, so we can be able to transfer your property, so we can take it through probate, so the state can probate it. And then if you come back after your stuff, let's say that they mistaken you and thought you were dead, right? As soon as they thought you were dead, let's say you pop up 3-4 years later, now you able to go back and show proof of life. And every single property that they issued out, they're going to make sure all that come back to you. All of it has to be returned to you, especially when you show that. So that's what I'm saying. That is the purpose of the Sesta K Trust. That is why it was created. Here's the thing, though. It also was created for people who didn't have the capacity to operate and deal with their own situations. Handle their own affairs. It's created for you too. So when you go in there and say you do not understand the operations of the court, et cetera, and how this works, they finna give you a public defender. Why? Because it places you as a minor capacity. Now, is it beneficial to them? Absolutely. Very much so. Supposed to be. I mean, hell, if you take in somebody else's kid off the street right now, you feed them, you raise them, et cetera, and they become the greatest whatever, is it not going to be eventually be beneficial to you? I mean, yeah. So all I can say to you is don't be the little orphan kid that don't know shit. Pick up, read, understand the law that you are dealing with, and know exactly how this truly works. The Sesta K Trust is not a bad thing. I don't care if it happened in the year 1666. Who cares? The truth is, do you understand it? Do you know why it exists today? But it does not mean that anything that you go apply for or apply to you're supposed to lose your rights. I don't give a damn if you do go and get some benefits from whoever right now. They can't take that away from you. None whatsoever. If you go get the benefits from the government, they can't take a right away from you. They can't go in and just kick in your door without a warrant. They still can't do none of that. Only thing they want to know is how you living. How much money you making based upon your income is how much they going to give you. Every single person in here can go get food stamps right now. Now, can you get the same amount everybody else get? No, but guess what? You are always, and they always dealing with the general welfare. Right? Hold on. Always. Very, 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 very important. Why would you build a state? Why would you build a country and it don't benefit you? And then here's the thing though, because like even with what I'm doing, right? I do a lot of stuff. I do a lot of writing. I do a lot of typing, creating operational manuals, do a lot of stuff because I have to prepare everyone for the future and be a smooth transition when things happen. And they doing the same thing, guys. But if you're not aware and you're not following, you're not picking up to read, to understand the country that you live in, that's wild. That's wild. And then you expect something from it. That's wild. It's really wild. Like, it's so wild that our whole country is blinded. And they talk about like, and I'm just saying, just the state. When you get on any of these social platforms and you listen to the state of the country, right? The state of the nation. When you listen to it and you listen to what everybody is saying, and from my perspective, when I look, what I see is 90% of the people do not know what the hell they talking about. They do not know the law to understand what it is being said or done. And that means that a lot of stuff can be fed to you in ways that can look real, but really is bullshit. And I don't think that you guys catch on to that because you don't know the law. So when it comes to somebody like Donald Trump, and it's like, y'all don't get it. It's like, if this dude is who they say he is, and I'm real serious when I say this, why haven't they used the things they say they got on him against him? And everything I've seen them try to use against him, he has beat them. And I don't want to hear, oh, he's got this control over these type of people or putting these people in places. Like, I don't want to hear that. Because the reason why I don't want to hear that is because you had a chance back in 2016 and you already knew all this information. So why didn't you use it against him then? And even while you was in office, you could have exploited every single thing that you say you know him and about him to make sure that he never gets back in there. But he's in there. Another thing is this. If America, the people, feel like your government is putting you in a situation and it has become a tyranny, a tyrant government, then the law itself says you have the right to form a militia, right? You have the right to bear arms and go out and protect the republic. How can they, if they want to, everybody, listen, stop letting people tell you that bullshit. Everybody, it was more, a lot of people was able to read. A lot of people could already read. But I'm just saying that, like, so if that's the case, if this government is what y'all say it is, and it's what you know it to be, then what y'all waiting on? And I've been saying this. They can put out every file that they ever done. Y'all ain't gonna do shit. Ain't gonna do nothing. The easiest thing you can do is get on here and talk about it. Y'all, this generation of people do not know anything about give me liberty or give me death. You don't know what that is. You don't know what it means to truly go out here and be ready to die about the future of your posterity to protect their rights. They shitting on yours, they're going to step on theirs. I'm just telling you that now. Until you get that in your mind and start to see it that way, you never, ever, 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 ever gonna be ready for the smoke, like y'all say. You not ever gonna be ready until you come to the cross of terms of that. Because, and I say this like, you don't even know the law to even understand what's happening to you, that they doing something wrong. You don't know. Now, I don't agree with everything any president or any individual do. I don't. Just like you don't probably agree with any and everything I do. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But what I will say is this. It's a lot of shit that y'all just letting the smoke. Like y'all all in the smog and the smoke. You can't even see. You ain't even clearly see who is who and what's going on yet. And the fact that I'm gonna just say anybody, man, for real, anybody of what you would call of color, period. When it comes to the United States, what the hell should we trust about it or anybody for anything? And that's the reason why y'all get upset when when Donald Trump said, "Well, nobody's ever did anything for the black community anyway. So what do you guys got to lose in trusting me?" And he's freaking right. You can't get mad at when he's right. Also, you ain't did nothing for yourself. Even the leaders that you consider to be those people ain't did shit for you. Even though you glorified the Obama administration and people, what the fuck? You still in the worst position that you was ever in. Period. That's the thing. Not only that, like let's even think deeper. Let's even go deeper than that. And that's what I'm saying. I don't care who it is. You should only trust yourself. At this point, it ain't to trust nobody. Anybody that you put in office, it ain't to be trusted. You the one. It's you. But at the same time, what have you done? What are you doing? Because it's about you. That's how I know you don't know what this land being in America is about. It's the land of the free, the people. It's you. You make the decision and the determination of the state of what we're going to be in by your knowledge and preference of what you do and what you don't do. And again, our people just don't be knowing nothing. That man said that white people was treated poorly in the civil rights movement. And y'all it was a race bait and y'all got mad. But the truth is, they did. They got treated bad too. Y'all act like some of the white people wasn't right there with. Y'all act like some of the white people wasn't right there with the black people too, marching. And they was. You watched it, you seen it. They got plenty of pictures of them getting knocked upside the head. A lot of them got killed for even being around. For choosing the side to rock with the niggas. So, and y'all let that rage bait go to y'all. And it's like, okay, I get it. I get what he's trying to say. The ones that did help, they got their ass beat, shot, killed, and everything else along with you. So why y'all gonna act like that ain't happening? Y'all be getting rage baited by nothing. It's like, and it shows the hate that you got in yourself because you allow yourself to be emotionally driven to some bullshit that don't even exist. And a lot of y'all got just make up shit in your mind and think it exists. It don't. You will watch it on TV, let them put something in your mind and think that it's real. Just like y'all think that that's not a federal agent group. The ICE is not a federal agent group. And y'all think y'all finna go out here and you're going to get smoked, bro. That the law already say if any threat form, you supposed to get smoked. Stay out the way. The best thing for the people to do is learn the damn law. You got the right to due process of law. But if you don't exercise that shit, it don't exist. It means you chose not to act on that right. That's all it means. And it ain't nobody's fault but ours as the people. That's all I can say. If you can look at it that way and take accountability, and you got a solution to go fix it. But the minute you start blaming and putting it off on everybody else, you leave no room and no solution because your solution is only through the one that's hurting you. And you asking them to stop hurting you when it's benefiting them. That is the stupidest shit ever. You lose. You a loser to me. You the weakest link ever. I don't think y'all understand that part. And that's how I know y'all really not ready. Y'all not ready for what this really about. It's just people blowing smoke. A lot of people try to make it about, you know what I'm saying, a lot of other stuff like, oh, negotiable instruments. Yeah, that's good. Oh, that's cool too. But, bro, this shit can get real. It can get so real to what's a dollar? What's a negotiable instrument? It's bullets flying over here. Then what? Is you ready? It's a real thing. And see, that's the reason why America is what it is. Because, hey, I get it, man. It could be a good thing for you or not. And so that's why you got to ask yourself, should the people, let me ask you this. And I'm going to say it like this too. If you got free people who don't know their own law to protect themselves and exercise their own rights, then even when they free, they ain't gonna know they free. They still gonna think they in a dictatorship. Now, what you hear today? Let me put it like that. What you hear everybody saying today? Yeah, what you hear? What are you hearing today? I'm telling you right now, if you got a bunch of free people under the republic and they do not know the law themselves, they're going to view their situation as a dictatorship. I guarantee it. You might as well be in one. When the power was in you, you feel what I'm saying? Matter of fact, let me just show y'all this. I when we get talking like this is what I call people bluff it. This how I know y'all be just talking. Y'all just be talking shit. You not about this. You not about this. And then y'all talk about the people with the muskets back in the day where they had the fire and shot. Pow. yeah. Y'all talk about them, but they had way more guts, way more heart, way more everything that you could ever have right now. You too comfortable. They made it their way. I get it, but hey, we up now. It ain't no excuse now. It's just whether you want to or you don't do it. That's why I say everybody is really doing what they want to. What is important to you? It is. The easy thing you do. The hard thing, yeah, that's a little bit hard for y'all, right? So let's go look up, I don't know, just tell me a constitution. I'll just go look in Virginia. Listen, people. Every constitution is going to say something like this within its nature because it has to follow the U.S. Constitution. So right now we're going to look in the Virginia Constitution. And I like looking in that Constitution because of how they actually say it. So it says that all men are by nature, equally free and independent and have certain inherent rights of which when they enter into a state of society. So guess what? These rights, you only free and independent and when you enter into a state of society, meaning you're choosing. Free and independent means a group of people who's choosing to govern themselves. That's number one, right? And when they enter into a state of society, okay, they cannot by any compact deprive or divest their posterity, right? And namely the enjoyment of life and liberty, right? So guess what? All men, by nature, equally free and independent, have certain inherent rights of which when they enter into a state of society, they cannot by any compact, that means by any other state, any other group of people, etc., deprive or divest their posterity, namely the enjoyment of life and liberty. Life is everything. Liberty is all freedoms and rights that you do have, right? With the means of acquiring and possessing property and pursuing and obtaining happiness and safety. That's one. Number two says that all power is vested in and consequently derived from the people. So all power is invested in and consequently derived from the people. It comes from you, the people. And then it says what? That magistrates are their trustees and servants, and at all times amenable to them. Amenable, they supposed to be available at all times. See, this is a contract. This contract don't say they supposed to close at 3:00. Just because you went home don't mean y'all do it. We pay you a salary. Anybody we pay you a salary, your ass is on the clock at all times, 24/7, especially when you're working for the government. This a fact, right? So now we finna get to the good part. We all this is good, but we finna get to the part where I get to call y'all bluff, because we gonna see if you're about what you say you're about, or is you just blowing smoke, whatever you're doing. Because if this governments that we have is that damn bad, like y'all say, we gonna see. It says that government is or ought to be, right, instituted for the common benefit, protection, and security of the people, nation, or community, of all the various modes and forms of government. It didn't say some, it said all various modes. That is best, which is capable of producing the greatest degree of happiness and safety, and is most affectionately secured against the danger of maladministration. And whenever any government, it didn't say any government, shall be found inadequate or contrary to these purposes, a majority of the community hath an indubitable, inalienable, and indefeasible right to, now this is why I call y'all bluff. You got the right to reform it, you got the right to alter it, or abolish it, in such manner as shall be judged most conducive to the public will. So my question is, what y'all gonna do? You know what I'm saying? What y'all gonna do? If this government is this bad as y'all say, because really, I don't necessarily think it's just the government. I think it's the people ignorance. It's our ignorance. How ignorant have we been to the actual true law? We've been thinking certain things is law, and it's actually not. We've been letting them come into court, and we've been going to these bench trial courts, participating in these little small tribunal administrative courts that ain't got nothing, no power over the people. Ever. All because it's of our ignorance, right? Ain't nobody stopped us from reading. We could have been picking up Constitution and reading. We could have been picking up these statutes and codes reading. They got to be displayed to the public at all times. You see what I'm saying? Why do judges try to trick you to answer to a dead entity they created at your birth in your name, and you're going to lose that way? We ain't got to talk like that. That's what I'm trying to get y'all to start understanding. Stop saying stuff like that. Who cares about that? Start caring about you are the people. The Constitution is the contract. They took an oath to it. Then now you have the right to hold them to their performance and obligations. If they do not perform their obligations and it becomes ultra-virus acts, they immediately lose all immunities, and you can literally sue them in their own private capacity. That is a fact. That's what we need to focus on. Authority, jurisdiction, due process, neutrality. Has to be focused on. I'm telling you. See, you not listening to what I'm saying. You asking about the dead corpse. None of that matters. You don't got to even talk and speak on it for real like that. We can, but I'm trying to say for the people who are looking to try to get it done the easiest way without all this confusion and stuff because you haven't fully understood how to approach the matter by what you're saying, then you just need to understand the Constitution itself and your rights within it. After you use the U.S. Constitution, if you're going to use the U.S. Constitution against the states, you have to use the 14th Amendment. Otherwise, you use the whole full state Constitution against them. And that's a fact. That's all you got to do. Yes, this is if you want to say admiralty and maritime jurisdiction, that just means contract. So what contract do you have between you and the state? The Constitution. Who took the oath? The judges. Now, they took an oath to many different things. That's what another thing y'all not understanding. Did they take an oath to the U.S. Constitution? Yes. Did they take an oath to their state Constitution? Yes. Did they take an oath to uphold the statutes? The legislative laws of the state? Yes, that's 3 contracts already. And if they are a municipal judge, they also took a oath to uphold the municipal law as well. So that's 4 contracts. this judge gets to presume that he's, according to the statutes he's granted, because remember, the municipal courts are all creatures of the state, meaning that legislative law created that particular setting. And their power can only derive from a legislative law. Now, circuit courts that are in the Constitution, that's a constitutional court. That's what you got to understand. It's in the Constitution. It was created by the Constitution, which means the people gave it power. It derived its power from the people. And if that's so, then there we go. So what I'm trying to show you is, let me show you. Now we're in Alabama Constitution, which I like it too. It's very plain and simple. That's the executive, judicial. Okay, so here we go. Jurisdiction of circuit courts. Now, I want you to pay attention to this. Jurisdiction of circuit court, this is the Alabama Constitution. This is a constitutional court because it was created by the Constitution, the people. This is not a statute. This is Alabama Constitution, section 143. Okay? So it says the circuit court shall have original jurisdiction in all civil and criminal in all matters, civil and criminal, within the state. Not otherwise, okay? Not otherwise expected in this Constitution, but in civil cases other than suits for libel, slander, assault, and battery and ejectment, it shall have no original jurisdiction except where the matter or sum in controversy exceeds $50. So if it exceeds $50, the circuit court has the jurisdiction in those particular matters. Now, it said in all matters, civil and yo, can y'all hear me now? We good? I think we back on. I don't know what happened, but they cut my sound out with y'all. So we back on, right? Let me know. Drop some ones. Let me know the sound is out. Everybody drop some ones. Can you get equity in state court? Absolutely. Y'all can hear me now, so let me know. I don't know what happened, though. It did just go out. But it should be back on now. All right. All right. So what I was saying is this. Drop some freaking ones. And what I'm about to show you, I want you to listen. I'm going to read this again because what's being said matters. It says the circuit court shall have original jurisdiction in all. All is what? Everything. All matters, civil and criminal, within the state. Within the state. So if you get a traffic ticket by the city police, okay? By the city police, and then they considered that traffic ticket criminal in nature, what court are you supposed to be in? If you're in Alabama, what court you supposed to be in? Come on, guys. If you the people who gave this this is the authority that you are given to a circuit court. And it says it has the original jurisdiction in all civil and criminal. You said none. Man, what court are you supposed to be in? You got to go to a court, Brody. Circuit court. So now, if it says that the circuit court you're supposed to be in, answer this question for me. How are you letting them take you to a city municipal court? Answer that. Because the city is within the state. The city is a creature of the state because it was created by legislative law. So that means it is within. And now, if the original jurisdiction is in the circuit court for all criminal matters, and a traffic situation is considered criminal in nature, then the people have the power to object these municipal courts and guess what? Demand they be placed into a competent court. It's a fact. That's why I say words matter. But guess what? Guess what everybody in the state of Alabama doing? We taking our ass down to these city courts and letting them bust our head up every single time. And then you think that the Constitution is going to actually apply in that court, and it's not. So you can't go in there using it. The only thing you can ask is, see, you got to remember, jurisdiction can be challenged in any court. Authority can be challenged in any court. So that's your power. You have to learn the power of objection to object. The court has to prove authority where it has the power. Okay? To hear you, where it has power over you under this subject matter. It does not. The power was given to the circuit court. It says it right here, the original jurisdiction. So now the only thing that's going to place you in that situation is what? By participation, right? Right. By participation, what we've been reading. It's really there, guys. It's in our face. It's right there in your face. But see, most people will go in the circuit court and say, the circuit court does not have a jurisdiction. You ain't got no jurisdiction. I'm challenging jurisdiction. Then you're going to go in there and say, you don't got power, jurisdiction over the name. I'm the principal agent and all of that. And it's like, why is you going against the actual damn Constitution where you, the people, literally have given the authority, and this is where they derive their authority. So call upon that authority. Request. You feel me? That's what you got to do. You got to know. Don't go on their boat. Yeah, I guess that's you if you want to put it that way. If you want to put it that way. See, let me show you something else. Let me show you something else. Here's another hack for you guys. Anybody on child support in the state of Alabama, it says that in imprisonment for debts, that no person shall be in prison for debt. You never placed into jail. You're not placed into jail, guys, because you didn't of debt. You were placed in jail before contempt of court because they saying they're not even they saying they are presuming that you are going against the court will and saying you're not going to pay. So that is a contempt because you're saying you're not going to do something that was ordered by the court. Instead of saying you don't got the money, start saying I don't have the ability to pay. Because once you say you don't have the ability the ability to pay, well, according to procedure, they have to start all the way the freak over and do a full calculation based upon your income. You got fired, I ain't got the ability to pay. Not that no more, for sure. They got to see you got to be more smart about what you're doing. Not only that, they got to also prove a lot of other things that they don't do. And since this is a situation that deals with your form of liberties, which is your child, your children, etc., well, and this is a civil matter, well, guess what? You can either let it stay in the family court or you can bring it to the circuit court because you're talking about matters that exceed over $50 freaking dollars. It's a civil matter. Regardless, it's civil. How they look at it. There's only two situations, criminal, civil and criminal. Nothing outside of that. But again, we keep letting them bring us into these formal tribunals. And the reason why they want you to bring you into these specific family courts and all of that type of stuff, because it opens the door for them to do what? To get federal funding. It's in their benefit. It's in their favor. So since they are getting federal funding under Title 4D, there you go. They don't have no jurisdiction. They really don't have, listen, I'm going to stop saying they don't have jurisdiction. They got all the jurisdiction in the world until you challenge it, until you object to it, till you make them prove on the record. By presumption, until you say anything else. And that's the way this game works. Because anybody can make a claim on you, and then it's up to you to object it, so they have to prove it. Other than that, it's done. Even when they send you a bill, it's, matter of fact, hold on just a second. I'm going to show y'all something. Hold on. Yeah. Let me show y'all something. All right, so this is a bill. This is a bill from some Medicredit, some shit like that. Whatever. All right, so let me read this to what they say. The first thing it says is this. Medicredit Inc. is a debt collector. We are trying to collect a debt that you owe to HCA Florida South Tampa Hospital. We will use any information you give us to help collect the debt. Now it says this. How can you dispute? It says call or write us before a certain date to dispute all or part of the debt. If you do not, we will assume that our information is correct. That right there in the whole, in what I just said is the whole entire United States in a nutshell. If you don't object, this is what they assume. It's correct. Right? If you write to us before this date, this is what they say next. We must stop collection on any amount you dispute until we send you information that shows you owe the debt. So they mean they have to prove it. So anything that you object to or whatever, they got to prove it. Right? So understand that. That's all you got to do. Then they also said, what else can you do? Write to ask for the name and address of the original creditor, if different from the current creditor. If you write by February 25th, 2025, such, we must stop collection until we send you that information. So again, they telling you, until you do anything else, everything they sent you is considered to be true. But here's the thing. You can't even take this at its face value. This is just somebody sending you something. And if you want to dispute it, this is a statement. This does not prove that it was sold to them. It does not show an assignment, how it was assigned to them. It does not show now that they have the original contract as the holder in due course or the right to do any of this. So we can't take this for its That's the whole point of my tender by performance class. I can't take this for its value. I don't know if this is real or not. I don't see there's no signature from the officer of this corporation. I don't see none of that shit. It ain't no notary signing saying that the officer is who they are of that. None of that exists. But guess what? If you got a business and you go out here and try to do anything with it, every corporation you go to, boy, they going to see you got a notary. You got a notary. You got a notary on there. We need to see a notary. You're going to have to take this back with you and go get this notarized so we can know this is from your corporation. Yeah, they ain't doing shit without verification. But we out here accepting everything with no verification. It's crazy. This is my point. So when it comes to courts, when it comes to whatever, everybody got to verify. Everybody got to show proof. Ain't no skipping. And if you skip proof, it don't exist. Now, I don't want to hear, hey, this doesn't work. And they're ignoring me. Well, go sue. And then once you try to go sue and et cetera, and it don't go like it's supposed to do, and you know you done everything according to the law, you exhaust all remedies that you possibly can civilly. Then when it get down to that point that we can't exhaust these remedies civilly to the fullness thereof because we have a corrupt and tyrant government, that means it's time to bear arms, create a militia, and protect the republic. If you ain't ready for that, get out the way. And that's where we at with this. That's a real thing. But I just think that most people just alive. Y'all give two shits about a country, a state. You know, people care about their block, they gang more than a country or a state. They freedom within it. They don't care nothing about it. That gang is more important. That block is more important. That little club you got or whatever, it's more important. And that's just what I'm trying to tell you. Once you make those type of things more important, it's insane. It's insane to do so. And that's what I want y'all to know. Certified mail is good when you know about administrative process, but even when you get done with the administrative process, the question is, can you take the administrative process that you done, can you use it as evidence and apply it in either a court of law or a court of equity? Can you do that? A court of equity is a declaratory judgment court or action or injunction, replevin, something of that nature. And then everything else is by law and statute. So can you do it by law and statute? Because if you do it by law and statute, it's very specific. So you have to make sure that you have a cause of action to grant relief. If you bring a certain cause of action or you bring in a claim under the wrong cause of action, even though what you're saying is right, then by law, they have to literally dismiss your case because you brought it under the wrong statute and it does not grant a relief for the cause. There's no cause of action to grant a relief under that particular statute. So even just knowing that, see, a lot of people think, well, they ignore it. I did the administrative process, they ignore it. Yeah, but you got to know how to go to freaking court. Court is it's the end road. It's the end game. Because guess what? Without civil, and y'all got to understand, why do we even have these courts for? If there was no civil matters, I'm telling you, it would be a lot of people pulling up at people's houses to get their business straightened out. You playing with who? About what? When, where, and how? That's how it would be. It'd be like the freaking Wild Wild West out here every single day. So you got to create it to keep from the chaos going and create where everybody has to handle it through court. Nobody can take matters into their own hand to revenge or anything. You're not supposed to. Vengeance is mine, says the Lord. So that means you're supposed to go to your government. That's what you're supposed to do. And if you're not doing that, then that's where you get in trouble at. Because if you go take matters into your own hand instead of using the law itself, then you in trouble. You're going to get in trouble for murder or whatever the case you did to somebody. And that's a fact. But we got to be a realist about this. We got to be real about our situation and what's actually going on. I think people, like I said, y'all just living. Y'all don't care about this type of stuff. But it's fun for you to talk about. It's fun for you to say, oh, we don't like Trump. Why? Why you don't like Trump? For what reason? Because they told you not to like him? Like, you still ain't figured out yet that if this man was going to be supposed to have been put in jail, they would have did it back in 2016. You would have stopped him from even getting in office a second time, the first time, especially when you got elected and your whole point was to keep him from getting reelected. Then why you didn't put out all the shit that you know, all the pictures? I don't care how bad it is and what. If you don't want him in there, you would have made sure he didn't get in there. But just the point. That shit don't exist, and that's a facade, and what they doing is fake. It's not real. It's to keep you running around in circles like you doing, looking for somebody to come save you. Ain't nobody coming to save you. You either save yourself. See, I don't understand. The Bible is telling you that the nation of people have to save themselves. It's already been given to you on how to do that. Are you going to do it? Well, that's another different story. It's on you. Again, it's 38 million so-called black African-American people. 38 million. That's a country anywhere else. And you got more people right now, and you do not fully control your economic situation. That's poor. That's sad. And I'm going to say that because even then, I'm talking about everybody around here, why are you not controlling your economic value when it comes to who you are and what you are as a people? Like, what the fuck are we doing? And when I start talking about it, it pisses me off because I'm like, everybody got a big mouth. Everybody got shit to say. But if we keep going the way we going, then that's why we always get only one out of a million can make it. Yeah, but guess what? If we go and actually do it the right way, everybody gets to make it. Because we fully took responsibility and accountability for ourselves and how we fully supposed to function and operate and deal with each other, between one another. You got to put that bullshit aside. At somewhere, your survival and your, the survival of your people, et cetera, has to come first. And the only people that get mad at other people for doing that and then turn around and call those people racist is because you ain't doing that yourself. And you want to go be a part of everybody else's shit, but you ain't got yours together. But that's just like saying you ain't going to take care of home first and you finna go out here and be in everybody else's shit, and then you get mad when they don't treat you like you supposed to be home. That's not your home. Even if you say we're not, like, that's something too. We're not black, African-American, or whatever. Even if you say we ain't none of that. The point is you ain't unified, you ain't together, and you ain't doing shit. We can call ourselves anything. The name is not what matters. What's in your heart, what's in your conscious state of mind, and how you treat and deal with people, and how you look at yourself, that's what's matter. We can call ourselves anything. We can attach ourselves to any form of history. But if it does not change your actions and how you deal with yourself, none of that shit matters. I don't care what we call ourselves. That's a fact. We attach to a lot of great names in history. Absolutely. We know it. But what does that actually solve for us when it's actually time to do something and move? What is that even going to matter? Since we think we finna go to war with certain countries, as certain people say. So let's just say it pop off and they get to shooting shit over here and all kind of stuff hit and stuff start blowing up places. What your name gonna mean then? You ain't organized. You not ready. You gonna be forced to have to be ready. Then you ain't gonna care. Everybody gonna be looking at it. We're the Americans. You're American. You're supposed to help. You know what I'm saying? And all that. That's what it's just gonna become. Now you were just an American. It ain't gonna matter that you're black, white, yellow, pink. You an American. You're one of us. You gotta help. Yeah, that's what it's gonna become then. So that's what I'm saying. You gotta get rid of that part of the illusion. Yes, that does it do my Morris pedigree, et cetera, mean something to me? Absolutely it does. But I also understand that a name does not make me or break me. Neither one. No, see, that's what I'm saying. That's very derogatory and disrespectful. It must stop. No, what must stop is how you treat yourself. I'm telling you that. The name, you only answer to what, listen, it's all about, it ain't about what they call you, it's what you answer to. So I'm going to say that. And then even about what you answer to, how you treat yourself. Remember, 38 million people, I'm going to keep saying this. We can't talk about nothing. I don't think we can ever complain and say shit no more. We've done enough complaining. Where's the solution? Where's the action? When is it going to take place? It's 38 million people when you do not even control the power of the economic power that you have here. It's insane. You see what I'm saying? So we got to start making excuses. We're willing to throw any way into the excuse of self for just talking about our own actions and how we treat ourselves. Whether it's a name, whether we want to throw history into the effect, whatever. I get it. Everything that Charlie Kirk and all them was saying, y'all got mad at it because it hurts. Why? Because your ass ain't together by now. It was best that they did keep. Yes, were you more unified when you were segregated? Absolutely. It would have been better off if we kept y'all like that. And y'all got mad because he said some shit like that. Are you stupid? For what? He was just speaking the truth. It only got worse for you when we integrated. When we were all segregated, you started growing. You started doing all this type of stuff. That's how Harlem and all this stuff started getting created. All these communities that they flooded and shit like that was thriving. That's my point. And y'all be tripping. For real. That's how I know y'all not ready for nothing like this. It's a real serious thing. I don't get on here just to be reading to y'all like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm choosing a side about anything. I'm only choosing what I know is I see in those who are righteous in their standing and ready to actually move forward. Just because you look like me don't mean you for me. Just because you holler Moorish don't mean it's bad people in every single group, people, color, whatever, nationality. It's some terrible people, bro. So just because you say you this and that, I don't care about that. It's what you do. Who are you? How you treat people? Are you really ready to sit down? That's the reason why I don't get around with these other people and try to and do classes with. I don't care. Because when it comes down to a disagreement, then I got to either get ready to knock you out or you finna knock me out because you can't understand how to have a disagreement and we move on. That's the whole situation. You finna go hate, you finna go talk crazy, all that stuff when all we had to do is wherever we don't disagree, we just move to where we do agree. And what we can agree on is feeding our family, feeding our children, feeding the homeless, etc. We ain't got to get into all this other argument because the truth is, no matter what we call ourselves, no matter who you say you are, the point is we said we Hebrew, we said we're Moorish, you said you this. Where is the results of us in unifying? And I can only speak on what I'm saying. If it sounds a little too black for a lot of y'all, as you say, if it sounds a little too dark over here right now, I can only talk about what I know and what I experience and what I'm a part of. I'm not a Mexican or you're Caucasian. So I can't give you that experience. I can give you experience on my treatment from that community, but I can't give you what it means to be you. You see what I'm saying? I can't do that. A lot of people looking for a reason to do a lot of stuff, but face the reality of stuff. I had to really question everything. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about when I say question everything, even my faith get questioned every day. I don't know about y'all because I have to. Y'all lied to me. Told me too much bullshit. So hell yeah, we all schizophrenic. We all crazy. We all got something a little off in us mentally because you fuck with us mentally since we came out the womb. That's what y'all got to understand. Facts, kingdom of everything. You know what I'm saying? So we got to know that. I'm questioning everything, whether you like it or not. Hell yeah, I question Jesus. I question Muhammad. I question Allah. I question Yahweh. I question Buddha. I question Satan. I question question you too. Ain't nobody going without being questioned. Y'all playing with my feelings and emotion. Everybody getting questioned about any and everything. And if you don't like it, hey, stay dumb. You the one gonna get stepped on because you didn't question. And that goes back to what? Proof. Proof. Show me. It's got to be a sign of it somewhere, whether I see it spiritually or physically, but it need to be made known to me. And if it ain't made known to me, then it's no existence to me until it's made known to me. I can't stand on something that's not made known to me. I can't stand on a belief. But I can stand on what I know. Yeah, I believe I can fly. Now go do it. Go stand on that belief. Shit. Hey, I'm just keeping it real, man. I know that's hard for a lot of people. And everything I'm talking about is what my whole series and book and podcast, et cetera, is about. You know what I'm saying? Like whether you like it or how I display it or not, but it is what it is. You know? And then this another thing I want to say. Y'all talked about MLK. Like they had the Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and all I seen was a bunch of people. Oh, he's a federal agent, and all right. I get that, but guess what though? He did some shit that you still ain't done yet. Unified. Got people that actually sit down in a room in places and plan and to unify. Whether the plan went south, left, whatever, but you ain't did that shit since. You get what I'm saying? You can't. Y'all keep missing the other parts, right? It's easy to talk about him and saying that, but shit, what you doing? You out here? You made the comment. Is you out here? You know what I'm saying? Do you have the same power to get on the front line, to be assassinated, to whatever? Yeah, where you at? It's easy to talk it. I promise you. It's easy to sit behind these phones, these keyboards. It's easy to say and do. I promise you. Y'all just be blowing smoke. Blowing smoke, man. And that's just what it is. I mean, hey, I don't care if the dude slept with 500-600 women, whatever the case may be. He still got his ass out here on the front line for the right of the civil acts, and it was for Indians too. It wouldn't. That's another thing. We, hey, civil rights. The American Indians, and then next thing you know, all the Negroids out there, and the American Indians, the civil right was for, and it was a bunch of Negroids out there for the civil rights for American Indians. I'm just trying to figure out, like, who? Well, okay, yeah, but that's another subject too. But my whole point is, man, you can't. How you gonna let the enemy confuse you, man? How you gonna let the same people that lied to you, told you they stole you from another land, put 2 millions of people on a boat? Now, do you understand that the Navy still to this day, that if the Navy was trying, let's say if the Navy today tried to travel, like they traveled, supposedly told the story. Matter of fact, we need to. Oh, never mind, because we don't need no casualties. But I was gonna say we need to really just build a boat. Just build a boat like they built back then. Put how many other people on there, they say, in the same conditions, and we need to sell. Matter of fact, we need to put every person that agreed to that damn lie and strap their ass on their boat and sell their ass. Through the same slave trade path, the transatlantic slave trade. We need to send them on the same conditions that they told us, and we need to see if you make it with these millions of people across the water. We need to see that. Show it to us. I want to see it. Show me. Show me you brought that many people over here. You know what I'm saying? I just don't see you did it. And then on top of that, you was murdering and killing most of the people anyway. How you come over here with 4 million and lynch over half of them, kill and murder over half of them, and then turn around and say they had enough to breed up to 38 million people today? It's not possible. Them folks was already here. Dark people. And then it's like, why we got to keep lying? We already know the truth. Y'all keep trying to make us complacent. Dark melanated people is all over the freaking earth. It wasn't one place that we were just at. We were everywhere. Everywhere. What they did was broke the communication and trade that we had all over the freaking earth, because they knew if they didn't, we would always sustain in power forever. And they did that. They came and became the author of confusion. And they did. They separated us. Took down the pyramids, all kind of stuff. Yeah, everything that we had that was connected to us, especially and those pyramids were more than just what they look like. They ways to communicate, other ways too. They provided lights, power. Did a lot of things that you ain't even told about. But my whole point of me saying this is like, it's not a left side, it's not a right side. And I think for us to even pick a side, see, you steady picking a side instead of saying, you know what? Who cares about a Democrat? Who cares about a Republican? We choosing us, right? And what I notice about the Asian community, bro, they ain't choosing no damn. Who cares? They're not talking like that out here. They out here on some, we gonna take care of us. You know what I'm saying? We gonna take care of us. That's it. And that's why y'all will see a video of a white man saying, "Oh yeah, I love what Trump is doing. I love this. I love that because it stands for the survival of my race." You, and then we'll be like, "Oh, see what? I knew it. I knew he was racist." So that's like saying, like, I mean, to me, that just sounds like somebody that won't take care of their family first. It don't sound no difference. The same person that's putting his race first is putting his family first. And damn sure if he putting his family first, his race first, he gonna put his country and state and nation first too, that he belongs to. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that at all. What I don't get is why you don't see that for yourself. I don't get that. Why you don't see for yourself that it's okay to put you first. You got to take care of you first. Take care of home first. Take care of yourself. Take care of your family. Take care of your race, your community, state, nation. It's a hierarchy to that. You can't expect so you mean to tell me right now you gonna go out your way, like, all right, let's say it's another child outside. Your child hungry, their child hungry. Now, it's not a, I'm gonna give you a binary situation, which means that it's either one or the other, but it don't necessarily have to be. But it's just like, you know, are you gonna put that child outside first? You gonna feed your child, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, you might share, but you damn sure gonna feed yours. You damn sure gonna make sure your child okay. I mean, who wouldn't? So there's nothing wrong with that. The other thing is this. You live in a society and place and situation now to where you lost a value in self. And the way you lose a value in self is you lost a value in village, you lost a value in community, you lost a value in what all of that means. Community is only used now as speaking as a group of people who are in commute and they have a I don't know, just a few things. Might have a fire station, might have a fueler stores, stuff like that. Community back then meant a whole lot more than it do now. Because a community of people can be a community and don't know each other, they live right beside each other, never speak to each other, not going to help each other, do not have any system to make sure the survival and the thriving of that community to continue. See, to me, that's like a capitalist type community. When you got a community that's thriving to where each individual holds a position to ensure and completes its duty to ensure the safety, the shelter, just the whole entire general welfare that you have to have. And that community goes out and they do that to the fullest extent to make sure that there's a full survival of that community. Like the stuff that you be seeing on the TV, the stuff that you see when they get lost on this island and then they got to form a community and everybody got to take part to make sure they thrive, to get off the land. Yeah, that's supposed to be a natural freaking thing. And what I know is every living creature naturally does that except for our asses. We the only one that says that money has to be involved in order to be in a community. I'm glad you put it like that, cuz common unities. And that's what it is. We're here for a common ground, and we're here for the common ground, common situations, and we're here to unify, to make sure that we meet those, right? That's what it's supposed to be for. But when you remove that, when you remove people from their natural habitat, their natural existence, their natural culture, their natural ways of being, when you look at what you see today is what you get. We're not thriving. We're not doing any of that. Most of us want to be better than the other. We're not finna help nobody else. You're not finna do shit but hate, talk about somebody. You waiting to see somebody else's failure. We actually take pride on watching a show where females are beating the shit out of each other. And they're called baddies. And then you say you want a baddie. And then you go get a baddie. And she going upside your damn head. Or somebody you boxing with every damn day. And that's what's glorified. And then we think that we have a right to say anything about anything. Like, we glorifying that. Seriously. What is the problem? We say, oh, well, we were exploited to do. Yeah, we did get exploited. In a lot of different ways. But since you know that, why continue the activity? And then think that we supposed to get up and say something like, man, come on. Do y'all see how bad they clown Nicki Minaj? Just straight clowned her. Like, I said, damn. Shit. Don't go over there and speak for that party at all if you want to be liked. But who cares about being like? The thing about liking don't pay bills, man. Y'all can like whoever you want. You ain't got to like me. You ain't paid it. Now, if you liking me pay the bill, and I'm gonna make sure you like me. But you liking me don't pay nothing. It didn't pay a damn thing for her. Which is why she said, I'm done with the album. We're not going to drop the album. Okay, because it didn't matter to her. She's established in that. I don't agree with a lot of shit she do. Could care less about it. But I'm just saying, like, damned if you care and damned if you don't. It is what it is. But what I'm saying is this, though, and I'm finna get ready to get off here. Like, we got 3 more years. And when the election turn come up for the next one, if y'all let these people shake some booty in your face and come up there and try to literally cast a reason why you should vote for them, if y'all allow that to, if I just don't understand. And we thought that was just great. Like, oh, we glorified the Megan Thee Stallion because Kamala Harrison got over there, but we dogged Nicki Minaj out. She wasn't up there throwing no ass. But you had, what's name that was? The Megan Thee Stallion that was with Kamala Harris because she wanted to be so cool. And it's okay. We don't listen, and that's the problem. She literally thinks that every black woman is from the ghetto, and their approach was that they most important vote is the ghetto black woman, is what they really trying to insinuate to you. And it's like, we accepted that, and y'all cool with that. You cool with being that. Like, I say, we We just what's wrong with just taking a seat back? Like, man, I ain't voting for shit this year. Nothing. I ain't voting a damn thing. Nobody ain't seeing nothing from us. We gonna sit this one out. Matter of fact, we over here hosting something ourselves, and we voting for the future of our race and people and all that type of stuff. And that's what we voting on. When we doing that, I want to participate in that. Why the Million Man March stop? Why they ain't having again? Why they ain't continue? Who stopped it? Nikki was out of line. I mean, obviously she was in line for somebody. They all got an agenda, but what's your agenda? Where's your agenda? Where's the agenda for you? Do you got one for your family? A lot of people came into 2026 with no plan. You know what I'm saying? Like, we just got to look at it from be better for ourselves. But I keep saying, like, what trust do we, and I'm gonna say we as the Negroid people, the Asian community. Hell, we really ain't got no trust with y'all for real either, though. So we know that too. But shit, I kind of don't blame them though. We tearing that shit up. Every time we turn around, we tearing that shit up. We'll tear up their whole establishment, boy. Get wrong. We'll tear some shit up now. We'll tear up your whole establishment. Why? And it ain't hurting y'all. It ain't hurting them. They got insurance on all that. We the ones finna go to jail because we didn't tear your shit up. Hey, man, it's crazy, yo. It's crazy how they depict us and where they put us out there. But I said all this to say this, and this is how we got there, is the fact of the matter that the problem is not the people that you vote for or anything like that. The problem is the people. And the people do not understand the law on the land of which they live. You are ignorant to the fact of it, and you do not know your rights and how to operate within it. Because the day that you do learn and the day that you truly know, and when you step into that power to know, I promise you all of this shit stops immediately. Why? Because you are going to do something about it. You are going to do exactly what we said. You're either going to alter it or abolish it. One or the other. But you're going to do it. You see what I'm saying? And you got to know that. And you got the right to do it immediately, to hurry up and establish it the way that you see fit to continue on. Now, the Constitution is the contract. It's not the actual government. When I say the government itself, it's the administrative people that you put into there. So at any given time, you got the right to reform it, alter it. That's the reason why you got impeachments. You can fire people. You can get people out the way and place other people in places they're supposed to be. But until you get to that point, prepare for the rest of this shit to keep going on. Yeah, prepare for it. But I just hate, and the part that I hate about it the most is that it's going to take a real, very tragic event. It's going to be bigger than 2000, than the 9/11, even though we know how that was done. It's going to be bigger than that. And I hate that it has to take something of that nature just for you to be able to get your shit together. Yeah, that's the reason. Do y'all even know why they don't want the Klan out here just really rallying around with y'all like that no more? I mean, they respect it because the Klan is a religious fraternal. Y'all do know that, right? They are. So, but do you know why it's not heavy out here? You know what I'm saying? You in the gump? That's what's up, fam. Definitely do that. Um, but the reason why is this, and I'm telling you, and this is to all Black African American people, they want you comfortable. You see what I'm saying? Like, they don't want to rattle the cage too much. They'll rattle it a little bit, and they'll leave you alone as long as you doing something to each other. You know what I'm saying? they'll leave you alone in that perspective. But when you start to coming together, unifying, they gotta rattle their cage a little bit. Like, oh, let me shake the cage. Shake the cage, shake the cage, shake the cage. Yeah, get them riled up. They getting too calm, too together. We can't do that. And they know not to push you back to that. That's what I'm trying to say. They know not to push you to the point to where you fully segregate yourself from everything. They know not to do that. They know to, because if they come out here heavenly and open with it like they was at one time, we don't want you a part of this, get your nigger ass over there and all that old other stuff they be saying. Yeah. All that stuff. If they go back to that, and that's the reason why, like, y'all like, oh, well, they trying to go back to go back to where it was. And yeah, okay, well, they not ever going to do that. That's the stupidest shit ever to do. It's easier for them to disguise themselves to actually show you. And then that's going to put you in a place, because what happens is once you push a people to a place to have to do something, then they're going to do something. So you don't want to force them. Even a scary ass dog, if you push it all the way into a corner, it'll eventually bite you to get out that corner. So my point is, if you push the people so far to a certain place and corner, etc., then yeah, it's going to change quickly and drastically, and they don't want to let you get to that point. They don't want to push you to that point. So they'll do a little stuff to, keep you riled out, but at the same time, divide it. But they'll never push you apart to just go back to being by yourself. And one of the ways of ensuring that their race of, continues is, well, it's black men and women. It's a fact. They need a baby by you. It's one of the most reasons they promoted integration. It's because of that. They're not going to say that genetically, but the truth is, I mean, hell, if you scientifically read and study and just pay attention, they telling you, hey, we dying, and eventually we're going to die off. And our whole time here is we've been trying to figure out a way to ensure the survival of our race. Because if not, we gone. So, and the point is, there is a time that a certain group of people here is not going to be in existence. It's already been a proven freaking fact, scientifically by number. There's an actual number. They're declining. They know that. So they have to figure out in their decline, they're afraid of becoming minorities. They're speaking out loud. So anything I'm saying is not some shit that you can't go out here and hear them speak and say. They know that they're going to be the minority one day, but they want to ensure some type of leverage or control to make sure the way that they treated you, you don't treat them. Stay only fear. They saying it loud. They telling you that's the reason why they move so ruthless. Because that's what they're afraid of. You get what I'm saying? They're afraid of that happening. So if it happens, it don't matter if, it's just when. Will they, family members, et cetera, be treated as a certain type of way? They want to know. They already said it. All you got to do is look around. Yes, we will eventually be the minority one day. So they want to ensure something for their future, that when the minority situation happens for them, that, that their posterity has some type of security, leverage, and protection. That's the reason why that before they let that happen, they willing to destroy every damn thing. They willing to destroy everything. Well, some of y'all gonna hear me. Some of y'all not. The thing about knowing, ain't no going back. Once you know, you know. For real, for real. Been on here about 2 hours with you guys, man. I appreciate your guys' time. Just know Monday we will be in work sessions. Okay, Monday is work session day, and we'll be back on the tax series. So 11 a.m. Central Time, and I think the first one that we're going to do is ain't no first. It's volume 1, of course. I'm gonna show y'all what that look like. Show you what that looks like. 59 pages. So remember, every volume is going to take a week. So we're going to use Monday and Wednesdays for volume 1. We'll fully get through it. If we ever get through with a volume on Monday, then Wednesdays we'll ask questions and stuff like that. Do it like a Q&A. Make sure, everybody's caught up on the matter as well. And that's how we will move on that particular part. Just so you know. And this is volume 1, taxpayer classification and jurisdiction. So that's the first one. And what's the tax series? Well, it's about taxes. So I've never fully went through it. I told you guys I was going to eventually end up doing this. So we're going all the way through it. Everything about taxes, the classification, the jurisdiction, who's a taxpayer, how to actually file and use the 1040, what is considered income, when do you actually place something that's income, where do you place income at, all of that. We going through every bit of it. 10 weeks, 10 volumes, free classes like we are here today. So you'll be able to watch from the platform that you're on. And we're going to read these. We're going to go through these. And we're going to get it done. So what we're going to do. And that's the work session for it. Let's see. This one has why most people file when they don't have to. What creates a taxpayer under law. That's jurisdiction, nexus, and authority as well. Filing obligations versus tax liability. See, that's another thing. You have an obligation to file, but tax liability is different. Just because you report something don't mean it makes you a taxpayer. It just means that you were obligated to make a report. It's two different things. And you're not always a taxpayer in every transaction either. Certain transactions, you're not a taxpayer. So that ought to let you know being a taxpayer is only according to the classifications of the transaction. A lot of people don't know that. You just think, are you automatically a taxpayer because or whatever? No, it's about if the classification of the transaction. If you are considered a taxpayer at that particular time or not. And usually it has to be upon any form of income, which means that means it's a gain or profit. A gain. You're never gaining anything if you give something, right? That's just like saying if I give you $100 and you give me $100 back, what did I gain? What did I profit? Nothing. So if equity says that if you get up, you have to get up, get yourself together, drive to work, put gas in your car to get to work, to walk in, to clock in, you lose time, you put energy, etc., into this particular contract, you fulfill your obligations, and you were paid for fulfilling an obligation. At no point of time did you make an income. At no point of time did you make a gain or profit. You actually gave more than you gained. That's what equity says. So you got to know that. And that's where I'm trying to get everybody to. You know? So you got capacity and identity. That matters too. Individual trust estates, organizations, grantor versus non-grantor determination, religious bodies and special classifications, And chapter 8 is when not filing is lawful. We also, chapter 9 is about presumptions, elections, and default. So a lot of y'all are just in the wrong election. You see what I'm saying? Chapter 10, burden of proof and rebuttable rules. So who bears the burden, when, etc. Consumer transactions, stop making them consumer transactions all personal. See, this a thing that y'all keep forgetting. Like, and I have to use, I'm gonna use Christianity because that's what I was raised in, right? So, just to give you an idea, just by the words of what you say, that basically and it's also said the same thing in Islam, that basically your whole entire life belongs to God, that you basically accept Jesus as your savior and you know, everything of that nature, and then you actually give your life to God. Okay? This is a real serious thing. So when you give your life to God, that means that you're going to live according to the word of God and the religion or tradition, etc., that you agree to. And when you do that, your whole entire aspect of life is supposed to be about that. Even from the clothes that you wear, it's supposed to be the religious attire that you wear. Even to the food that you eat is according to the diet of the religious aspect of your life, right? And from that point on, nothing that you have do you own, right? Because and now I understand why you have to. It's basically to take a vow of poverty. But the truth is, why not? Because you don't own anything no way. It all was given to the kingdom of God. So it's not one single thing that you ever supposed to own. The church is supposed to own it. And everything and all things that we're doing is for the church, no matter what. That means in every endeavors that I go and do. So if I'm going out to work, I'm going out to work to get money to raise for the church. It is not for the personal use. It's not a gain or income for me. None whatsoever. So they can't tell me that my transaction with this particular whoever or money being transferred to me is for some personal gain. It never was personal gain. So if it's not, and I'm being able to take that particular money, I'm going to make sure that there's no withholding in my taxation ever. Because now I'm just classifying it myself. I'm not letting them classify my situation. When you let them withhold what they assume under presumption, what is considered an income or gain as taxation, then that gives them the right of your participation. You volunteered, and now they're able to count this as income because that's what you clearly classified it as. I'm just saying. So that's why I say, are y'all really living like the religion that you practice? And the answer is no. I promise you're not. You don't even understand it to fully live like that. And if you did, then trust me, your life would be, you wouldn't even be talking about taxes. What's a tax? Every time you sit down and eat with your people and y'all go eat anywhere, any type of fun activities and stuff like that you go and do, all that's supposed to be accounted for as for religious purposes or whatever, your spiritual life, the right in the pursuit of your happiness in your spiritual life. There's no form of taxation to that transaction when it was to liven your spirit up because you went to whatever. You went to the water park. You wanted to teach people survival skills. So you took them to the water park to swim, to learn how to swim, to whatever. It's a lot of stuff that you can do. It's so many things. And then the thing is, there's a such thing as called liberty of consciousness. So liberty of consciousness is that pretty much every individual has the right to decide what is sacred and religious to themselves. That means nobody else can decide that but you. I don't even care if you, just because you in a full some type of religion don't mean that you have to believe it in the way everybody else do. It's what is sacred and religious to you. And that is a liberty that you can always carry and exercise. But the truth is, how far do you guys truly exercise that? And you don't. That is my point of what I'm saying about all of this. And I've been asked a million times, when you going to get back in the church? When y'all ready to truly sit down and listen and let me show you? But you're not ready. You want to argue with me. And then y'all get mad because you see a mega church doing exactly what the freak I'm talking about. You mad, what they got all that money over there? Because they smart. And then the people in their church, if this is your shepherd and you're supposed to be the flock, the sheep, then go up there and ask your shepherd and say, hey, I see you in this house, it's tax exempt. I see you in this car, it's tax exempt. I see you in all of this stuff. I need to do the same exact thing that you're doing. I want my house to be tax exempt because I'm fully here on the mission. I gave my life to Christ. I belong to this church. My mission is every day is just like yours. It didn't change. You're just the leader of the flock that we all are dealing with on this mission. So with that being said, everything that you got a right to, so do I. So I want to know exactly what you're doing so I can be in the same exact place and position that you are. Because if not, it's time for me to go. Yes, that's active. That's clergy, and clergy is. But you got to remember too, what does the word say for you? You were supposed to go tell the gospel, right? So if you're supposed to go speak the gospel, go speak the gospel. That's your mission, to bring all those to Christ, to be a part of the mission. But the kingdom is real. The kingdom is active. The kingdom is not just a building you go into, say a few songs, bow your head, pray, and you go home. That's not it. That's not the kingdom, dog. I'm sorry. That's not it. Never has been, never will be, ain't benefited shit, and ain't gonna benefit nothing. People broke. People have no financial literacy. There's no safety. You can't even use the church for a safety home right now. It's gonna be cold as shit the next couple of days. And I guarantee you might have a few churches, but for the most part, them churches ain't opening no damn doors to no homeless people to come in there and sleep and be warm for the, what they ain't finna run their bill. We ain't running our light bill up. We might feed them some soup, but we ain't bringing them in to be warm. They better go to the shelter. Y'all not finna do that. Not on my pews. And y'all got mad because Drewski said this type of stuff. It's real. It's a real thing. You do it. Literally just known somebody that just called around to all these different churches, and now one of them said we can't help you, baby. What you mean you can't? All you gotta do is call some people. You ain't even ask. You just didn't do it. Not saying that they obligated to help you because it's an actual contractual agreement of membership and religion. Totally understand that, but don't fake the funk like you really out here to do what you say you're doing. Just that's not your true mission, and that's okay if it's not. But let's just be honest about the actual situation so you can stop playing with people's feelings and stuff. People are leaving with a good sermon and going back home broke. And then you will say, well, it's not the church's job to do such and such. Well, what the fuck is the church's job? What we doing here? I mean, and this is where I say there's a disconnect of y'all understanding that in the Bible, these were nations of people. It wasn't just go into church and Moses preached. No, they had the government set up. They had to govern the people. They had to set up court. They had to do all of that stuff. They had to make sure that they live, survive. They had to make sure there was order, rule, and law there for them. That ain't what's going on right now. Every church should be operating like the Vatican. And I'm not talking about in the demonic way that y'all are saying. I'm saying the way that it's set up, the way that it's operating, every church should be the same exact way. And if it's not, why not? That means you ain't understanding. And you can't get mad because the Vatican actually understands what it's supposed to do. As a particular church, it does have its own full sovereignty, and it only got like 1,000 people, and it is a sovereign nation. Man, why you ain't in the same aspect? You got to start asking yourself these type of questions. See, I was in a Presbyterian church, so we have 5 Presbyterian churches within the Florence district. 5 churches. Then what we have next is called the Synod. The synod is all the churches that was in in your particular state. So the state of Alabama. Right? And then from the synod, we go into the General Assembly, which is all of the Presbyterian, Black Presbyterian, Cumberland Presbyterian churches in the whole America. And we would all meet somewhere and we had these type of meetings. And I'm talking about it's big money being spent, big dollars, big money. And we've been doing this for years and don't own a damn hotel nowhere. Don't own no building, ain't put up no infrastructure to have these meetings, so we ain't gotta pay other people. We should be owning one. And they've been doing, they've been doing this since I was before me, but definitely since I was a baby, a child, since I remember going and having to go. It used to be one of the funnest parts of the summer for me because that day is lit. Don't get me wrong, it be lit. The church functions be lit for real. Them days was super fun, but I'm just trying to tell you. We ain't got shit to show for it. Nothing. We didn't set up no schools. We didn't put together no markets. We didn't put together any form of auxiliaries and businesses, et cetera, for our people to fall into. Like, we didn't do none of that. We didn't. We damn sure spent the money on building funds and trips and whatever else we want, and to look good in the best outfits that we can look good in front of each other, get the fanciest hotels, paid all and spent all that damn money, and then we leave with nothing. Then the church go to asking for help. You can't even get that shit no more. That shit got spent at the General Assembly, dog. we spent by the M, a couple millions in there. They done took my picture out now. So think about that. Yeah, think about that. I'm still here, even though y'all can't see me. But I'm telling you what I know because I lived it. I seen it. So have a lot of y'all. Whether it's a Baptist venue, a Presbyterian venue, a Church of Christ, or what, all y'all doing it, done it, did it, and then we ain't got nothing to show for it. Some people think that just because they got a gym beside their church, that's what they got. That ain't nothing. Like we work more than a basketball gym. That's the first place everybody goes is to create an athlete. I want to see us set up a full school for financial literacy. If you're gonna be asking people to pay, then give them financial literacy. Why not? You teach people that, you'll give them way more money coming in because you got people that know actually how to deal with money, to give the money. They'll be glad to give the money. Then they'll even know how to learn how to get grants and all that stuff written so you ain't got to be coming up begging for all the time. It just happened. But that's the point. We asking for so much from the people in these type of situations, but we ain't giving them shit back to care for. Oh, I'm going to pray for you. I can pray for my damn self. I do not want you to pray. I want you. You want to help? You want to help me do something? Let's do it. But I don't want you to pray for me. I'm good. My words work with God just fine. They ain't stopped. They've been doing wonderful for me. I promise you. But all this just thinking that the prayer is it. The prayer don't work without faith. Faith don't work without you taking action. Get yourself together, people. I don't get a problem with the church. I love the church. If it makes you a great person, good people, etc., that's beautiful. No problem. But at some point, the church has to evolve. The church is the only thing I haven't seen evolve. There's no evolution in it. Why is it still in the same place? This is the conversations people have a hard time of making. I lose followers over this all the time. I don't care because nobody wants to actually answer the freaking question. We got up to 20K, man. Appreciate you guys. I really do. Stayed on just enough for y'all to get me to 20K. So I definitely appreciate every participation in here, man. Anytime you come in here, yes, I'm going to challenge your mind to think. If you're strong in what you think and know, then it should not ever shake your character or anything of that nature. If not, then hey, that means you're not standing on solid ground, and it deserves to be shaken, and you need to go find a solution to make sure that you are on solid ground. And that's how I treat myself. Because anytime somebody can come in and say some things or show me something and it shakes my foundation, I got to go make my foundation solid again. You know? But if your foundation is solid, then anything I said, it shouldn't shake you. None whatsoever. But if it did, it's not a bad thing. Not against you. Probably be one of the ones that do something for you before I do something to you. So, not against you at all. But at the same time, let's start being real about our situation and what we got going on. Let's stop making all the excuses to be something that we can be instead of, taking other different approaches and stuff. Because God judges nations, God judges people. And right here, we do have a nation of people that is here. It's 38 million of you. And you're being judged every day according to how you treat yourself. At some point, you got to put everything else behind you. Everything that you've done to yourself, everything others done to you. And you can't let nothing be greater than the mission itself. We can do it. And don't use excuses that, it's some bad people. You're not supposed to unify with everybody. You're only supposed to unify for those who are willing to follow the order of the law. The code of honor. That's the reason why you think Christ said what he said? He was like, man, shoot, man, listen. Basically, my people is only the people who follow the law of my Father. That's it. If you ain't following that, then I don't really know you, because you really against me. You can look like me, you can sound like me, all of that. But the truth is, when it comes down to it, you against me. You trying to stop everything that I am and supposed to be. For me to want something for myself, like you trying to tell me I can't have it, that's insane. Peace, love, and law, though. I will see you guys on a Monday. If you want the book that we was talking about today, Only God Can Judge Me, it's still available at $25. It will go off the end of this week. It will go up as well. But we got plenty of things coming to you guys. Plenty. So let's jump in. Let's do the best that we can. And, keep pushing forward. Y'all have a beautiful